This week's episode of One of a Kind with RVD is presented by Get Blitzed. That's get-blitz.com. Get Blitz Let's Aid is nano-infused THC syrup, and it is a premium cannabis-infused syrup formulated with nanotechnology for fast-acting effects. And you can get 15% off your order when you head to get-blitz.com and use promo code RVD. Get 15% off. Head to get-blitz.com, promo code RVD, 15% off. It's one of a kind, baby.
What's up, everybody? This is Don McDangelo of OneTrueSportTV.com and of One of a Kind, RVD. And it is, guess what? It's Thursday. It's a busy Thursday, and we are here. You guys won't believe who we got today. It's big guest. Don't think we've ever met before officially. I don't know. But it's Rob Van Dam. Rob, how are you?
Dude, fantastic. And I hope everyone listening is as well.
Yes.
These weeks go by so quick.
They really do, man. It was
Thursday, or as we say here in the Van Dam house, it's garbage night again already.
Is it garbage night for you guys?
Yeah, well, they pick it up in the morning. They start at 7 in the morning. So I try to get it out at night, but a lot of times it's at like 6:58 running out. I do it a lot of times like that, of course.
You're like running out and throwing it at the garbage truck.
Yeah.
Well, we're live here, and we have already over 1,300 people tuning in. We're live on RVD's Twitter. We're live on RVD's YouTube at The Real RVD, and we're live on OneTrueSportTV.com. So if you guys are on YouTube, be sure to like, subscribe, whichever channel you're on. If you guys definitely want your question answered, use the super chat. That helps us out big time, whether it's on One True Sport or RVD's YouTube, and get the word out. So make sure you spread the word and share, like, subscribe, all that malarkey. But we got a fun episode here today. Obviously, we're going head-to-head with the presidential debate. But I think we're going to be a little bit more entertaining than what they can provide for us, Rob. I was thinking about this when I was doing it. I was like, Donald Trump's he's obviously a WWE Hall of Famer, very polarizing in regards to politics and stuff like that. But did you ever meet him before?
I believe I did when he was at WrestleMania for that haircut match.
Oh, yeah, 21.
Yeah, Bobby Lashley wrestled somebody that represented
Umaga.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, he wrestled Umaga. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that Sabu and I were just like walking down the hallway and walked by his room and his door was open. I think we just introduced ourselves, and that was it. No exciting story there.
Nope.
David not for us anyway. For him, he was probably pretty thrilled.
I bet he was amped up.
He's still talking about it right now.
That's probably what he's talking about right now on the debate.
As a matter of fact, that's how he got in close to Stormy Daniels with that story.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
How about that?
True.
Facts has been here.
I did work with her. You know that, right?
No, did you?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yes, sir. I know her much better than Donald Trump because, one, she was in my movie, Wrong Side of Town.
Whoa.
Which we filmed in 2008 or 9, came out in 9. And there was a scene. This might be where we introduced Batista. Because I remember I come in and him and her are groping each other, and I'm talking to him like, "Hey, bro, you owe me. Remember? You know this guy Seth?" And he's like, "Hey, man. Fuck off. Can't you see I got a pair of tits in my hand right here?" And we filmed 2 different versions of it. One of them with her top on and one topless. I guess there must have been maybe a rated R version and a rated PG version. I don't know. Maybe that was just for the producers to jerk off to. But then me and Dave DeFalco, the director, producer, douchebag, we went to she was featuring a strip club there in Baton Rouge while she was filming Wrong Side of Town, and we went to support her. And I just remember, like, at the time, because of having the relationship I had with my insecure wife, I remember like how awkward it was, and I was, because we're like, oh, she's over there, and we went over to sign, but first she's finishing up, like with a customer doing, I don't know, picture, autograph, whatever the fuck she's doing, something. And so we're kind of like caught, like hanging, like waiting or whatever, and like waiting till she's done talking, and then soon as she turned and she was done, because she saw us there and she's waiting and she's signing a book or some shit, and then like when she turned, because I was left there, and because I was so awkward, like I stuck my hand out at the same time that she reached up for a hug, and it was one of those weird things. And I brought that up to her last year when Katie and I saw her at Exotica, and we both can't believe that she's out there at the conventions signing and
outside the hotel smoking a cigarette.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just because it seems like, you might have some money on your head,
Right.
I mean that does happen, and it happens with important people like Donald Trump, people, problem solvers, and sometimes you solve a problem by making somebody disappear. So it's crazy to us that she seems to, just have no care in the world about it and goes on with her life. But, that's just our take on it.
Yeah, it is pretty wild to kind of think all that stuff. Exotica. So there's that it's a convention, I take it, but what porn convention? What is that exactly?
Yeah, it's like an adult expo. So it's porn, but it's also like sex toys and all kinds of weird fetishes and there's the one, we've been to a few of them, and there's several either marijuana booths or the fake marijuana, depending on what state you're in. And yeah, wrestlers too. Some of the same fans cross over. So and also they do 420 cons. So I think the first one we did was a split, a 420 and an Exotica convention. So that was our introduction to it.
Wow.
Yeah.
I bet that's quite the eclectic mix there. I've been to plenty of Comic Cons, and there's already a good mix of folks there. I want to go to like a tattoo convention and check that stuff out. I think that would be a lot of fun. But I could only imagine what like something like that would be. Yeah, you get quite a mix.
Well, I have filmed some of our experiences. I have them on my YouTube page, and we're walking around with the camera, just trying to get everything in. And there's like stars. Some of them are legit Hall of Fame stars, and some are cam girls, or what, everything in between. And you're walking, there'll be like some dude laying on his stomach while someone's walking on his back with high heels and shit. You're like, oh, excuse me, and there'll be like a tortured fucking dungeon over here with all these chains hanging down and weird things for people to tie themselves up with and stuff. And it's like, oh, okay, like I kind of got a lot of it with the camera before, but and they have fun stage shows and stuff. So
yeah,
it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I've seen I'm sure you've seen the Tony Atlas videos, right?
I mean, I've always heard about it. I don't think I've actually seen it.
Oh, okay. They've been posted on Twitter and stuff like that. It's like intense. You're like, man, she's walloping him, like laying into him.
Are these like current, like newer videos?
Yeah, they're newer ones. It was like, I think it like that day or whenever he posted them, they were just like recent.
Okay, I didn't know if it was something that escaped the vault from back in the day.
No, they're
Are
like
they walking on his face.
No, she like kicking him basically in the face with like Van sneakers on and stuff like that. It's pretty intense.
To each, it takes all kinds, huh?
Right? Yep. We got, let's give some shout outs here to folks in the chat. We got David Von Boglin. He's a regular, a One True Sport member too. He says, hey, everyone. We got AAA in here. I did see, who did I see? Greek Glass is in here in the house. I saw them. Shout out to them. RVD 420 Glass. Sending love. Yep. Go to rvd420.com. And
By the way, I got a big box in front of me from Greek Glass. I'm gonna be opening on the show here. It's big, like a little kid could fit in this box. So there's gonna be.
What if there's like a little person in there crawls out?
We're gonna find out.
We're gonna find out later on here.
I gotta smoke first, but I'm gonna open that box.
Heck yeah! A shout out to Liam Evans. We're gonna talk about the A&E documentary here in a little bit, but he rewatched it just for this episode, so we'll get to cover that. But got some other cool stuff going on here. Triple E does ask. Let's see. We talked about Jacob Fatu a couple weeks ago, and sure enough, he debuted in WWE. Did you happen to see that clip of him beating up Cody Rhodes?
He's not the one. Is he the one that makes the crazy faces?
Yes.
I did see that. Then I saw all the brothers like down together and shit. That's what it was. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I didn't know that he was someone new. But yeah, came down crazy faces, and Katie said right away watching, like, wow, like what, like he's so much more credible and intense and engaging and compelling than all the other guys. Like he came out and just his intensity, everything like changed the whole vibe, and I don't disagree with her.
He's got a hell of a presence, and it's like, he's able to captivate like that Umaga kind of feel to himself, but then he's also really great behind the mic too. Like, and he's got that like hardcore kind of almost like a Roman Reigns / Jey Uso kind of vibe to him too, which is really, really cool to see. So he's going to be really exciting. I'm really excited for him. I think he's going to be a lot of fun. It's funny, Rob, that place we were in Chicago for StarCast, he was there like a couple years before and for a wrestling event. And he was just partying with fans the whole time, basically, and like would just be going around and like interacting with everybody. He got his picture with like Jerry Jarrett and Conrad and all that stuff. It was pretty neat to see him kind of in the mix of things, and so I'm pretty happy to see him in WWE. David Von Bogle asks another question here. Not sure if we're talking about it here, but have you guys seen what's going on with Too Cold Scorpio? Did you see any of that, Rob? That news?
Yeah, I don't have any inside information or anything. I just heard the headlines and then saw what's his ass Hannibal talking about it.
Yeah. Oh, you saw Hannibal?
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, he says that Scorp was working security guard at a gas station and got into a scuffle and had a knife on him and ended up stabbing the guy. And so now he's got to deal with that. And I don't know how bad the stabbing was. I don't know if you know anything else other than what I just said.
Yeah, no, I just heard he stabbed the guy several times. The guy was taken to the hospital. I know Scorpio has to miss a couple dates. He had some dates set in Japan for DDT wrestling. And
that sucks.
missed those ones. Yeah. And so, I heard the story kind of wild. But geez, if it's self-defense, you got to do what you got to do. But hopefully everything all turns out okay on both sides of the coin there.
Right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Rob, yeah. So obviously last weekend here, the A&E documentary aired. You were in Jackson, Mississippi, tuning into it. Overall, I have several notes about it that I want to ask you. But overall, what did you think of the documentary? Were you pretty excited for it? And how do you think it overall went?
I thought they did a great job. It was a great story as far as like, boom, there you go. If that's my legacy, as they say, then I'm pretty pleased with it. I thought it was awesome how they had my parents on it by, using a mixture of like some old footage as well, so that they could get my dad on there, and they got my mom, my sister, and That was all. That was all really cool too. Um, and like some of the comments right away, like some fans said, "Wow, we learned a lot of stuff we didn't know about you, RVD," and so that's really cool to know because I don't know, the Peacock documentary covered a lot of my career and my pre wrestling days and what got me into it, and so you sometimes it's easy to um, fall out of the perspective that not everyone saw that. And when you get to free TV, way more people see it than see any pay TV.
Yeah, yeah, it's true too. No, I thought it was really neat too. Like that's actually the first time I like saw your parents, where it was in that footage and stuff like that, and that was pretty neat to see. And I thought it was really cool that both of them seemed pretty supportive of you, like getting into wrestling too. Like your dad made the deal, hey, get a couple years. If it doesn't work out, you go to college then and stuff like that. And I thought that was pretty cool. Were they always pretty supportive off the start hand, or were they kind of apprehensive of you really getting into wrestling a lot?
Um, Kind of both, like obviously it was shooting for the stars, and they wanted to make sure I had some backup plans and such. So my dad knew he wasn't going to be able to extinguish my dreams. So he agreed, with me. Let me give it a couple of years. If not, I'll go back to college. He said in the bio that
What's up, Katie?
Hey,
How are you?
good. How are you?
Good, good.
Hey, y'all.
he said in the bio that I had a
Love you, baby.
scholarship for Western Michigan, and I thought it was Michigan State. I wonder now. One of us is incorrect because those were the two colleges, one on each side of Battle Creek. And perhaps I've been wrong all these years, but I thought it was Michigan State. But very not important fact.
What was your
Yeah.
Okay, bye. Love you.
I love you,
See you,
baby.
Katie.
Later.
Guys. What was your did you have like a backup plan in place in regards to going to college? Like what you were gonna have a degree in, or did you kind of have something that laid out, or was it like if I have to go to college then I'll kind of decide what I gotta do then?
Wow, that's a great question. I don't remember. I kind of remember trying to pick the the best of the shitty choices. I remember not really relating a lot to the classes that were offered, but I was into physical fitness, and I could always learn more about that whole world that would help enhance my options, and my chances of making it in the industry of being a professional wrestler. So I think I was looking at nutrition and physical fitness and stuff like that, but wasn't really into the whole college thing at all.
Yeah, I don't blame you either. I mean, I learned some stuff in college, but in the grand scheme of it all, like I could basically be doing what I'm doing now without a degree. You know what I mean? Where it's like I got a basis for journalism and the ethics of it and how to handle myself in certain situations, and that was helpful. But overall, it's just like I kind of don't. It was fun. It was a fun social experiment, basically. Ultimately, a very expensive one, but still fun.
I pulled out one of these dabbers, Boost Evo. They were kind enough to give this to me a long time ago. It was intimidating trying to figure out how to work it, but it's so easy. But I'm not dab conditioned, so I am going to cough my lungs up. But it's a smooth hit. So
I want to witness it.
maybe I won't cough as much. No, you adjust the temperature, and the hotter it is, the more you cough.
Oh man.
Oh. So I think I need to turn it down. Whew. Oh wow, it's kind of fun to mix it up though a little bit.
Yeah, change it up a little bit. Dude, that hit you just took, I would have been done for the rest of the night. I would have been paranoid in like 2 minutes after that. You would have not seen me anymore, Rob, tonight if I took that hit.
They gave me this at the jiu-jitsu, Brazilian jiu-jitsu that we used to watch, where the high rollers, where it was like always marijuana themed events, and they started by fighting for actual weed, but then anyway, this is one of their sponsors, and there's like a bar there,
Mhm.
but it's free, and they're just giving dabs to anybody who wants it, and they were really cool, and so they gave me the whole fucking dabber in a box one time, and someone else sent me one too, so I have two of them, but it has been a long time since I've done dabs. Just yesterday I pulled it out, said, hey, why not mix it up a little bit? So
But your favorite is just smoking regular rolled ones, right? That's how your preference.
yeah, and like this one, like you hit it to change colors, and the different colors are associated with the heat.
Oh,
I don't know what I just did. Purple, blue, white. I don't know. I had a rainbow before. Oh, there's a rainbow. Oops. Where's the camera? Holy shit.
oh, look at
Focus.
that.
Rainbow. For Pride Month.
Pride Month. We got 3 more days. There it is. Actually, 2 probably. Today's almost over. But some cool comments here. Cassandra just wanted to say, let's see. I want to find her first comment here. She says, RVD, it's amazing that you showed tremendous amount of accountability in the A&E documentary, she said. And then she followed that up to saying, just wanted to say that it made no sense for WWE to hold you accountable for that when the audience did not negatively get impacted by you possessing marijuana. No brand was damaged. So it's a pretty interesting point, too, by Cassandra.
That's true. You know, big corporate decisions, sponsorships, and policies, they didn't have to do that. And looking back at it, I didn't even get arrested. So,
Yeah.
so there's that. And since there wasn't even an arrest, and I paid tickets and then had to come back to court. They already crucified me like way before my day in court. So, there's that perspective to look at as well. But either way, though, I'm not blaming them. I'm the guy that fucked up. So it is what it is.
Yeah, and I guess I'll talk about that later when we get to it. But Ghost Malone 90 says your wall of figures was the sickest thing in that doc. Yeah, that was pretty cool seeing the up close stuff. We've seen that before here on the show, but we got to see a little bit more closer stuff of your figures and things. I didn't know they made the micro brawler with the red eyes either.
Oh, you didn't know that?
I didn't know they made a figure like that. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, it's the chase.
That's pretty great.
And when I look at it as a collector, I'm like, there's like 3 new figures since then. There's 2 more coming out, and then the last 2, and so I feel like they don't have my whole collection in there.
You're right. Speaking of figures, that new one they showed some new variants of that one. This one right here.
Oh no, it's a different one.
Oh well, the defining moments. That's the new one that's coming out though.
So okay, but from what I've seen, I think that one's supposed to come out later in the year, as I understood it. And the Monday night, Mr. Monday Night outfit is supposed to come out like now. Although I was told it might be September or August till they sent it to me.
I think it's already out.
But okay, yeah. So you're not? Are you saying that those 2 are a variant of?
No. So this is the one that's already hit the stores, I believe. I think I saw something on Instagram where somebody saw that already.
Someone posted it and they said they found it, but
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah,
I haven't seen.
You're right about this one though. This new one here, that one's coming out later on.
Okay.
And then I don't know if you saw the back of the figure. Hold on, I have the image right here. I'm gonna load it up. But the back of the figure, they like photoshopped the picture. So take a look. So look at this one. So they put that singlet on you when in all actuality you're wearing it's the very same picture right here, Rob. Look. So they changed the photo.
Tell me again.
Okay, so there you are right there. That's the original photo from
Yeah,
1997. And
yeah.
then here's the Photoshop they made.
Ah, okay.
But that.
Yeah. They playing just fine one with me having it. Hold
Yeah.
on.
I know, right? There's one I saw one where Tommy Dreamer's pile driving you with that singlet on, but I guess that
I've
wouldn't
seen
be
that with my bloody nose on that.
yeah. Yeah.
Wearing that outfit.
So
Yep.
let me see here. Guys, oh man, we almost have 5,000 people tuning in right now live. So if you guys if you're tuning in to one of the YouTube channels, use that super chat, get the word out, and you'll be at the front of the line, and we'll answer your questions. We've got a couple super chats already, so let's address those. CC Bonbon one, CC Bonbon one. Well, I said it right the first time. $1.99. Worst laziest weed or joint a fan ever gave you? Does this stand out to you? Did some fan give you some bad joint? You're like, this one sucks. Or does
Oh, that happens a lot
yeah.
actually. Like they will roll me a really skinny little toothpick, and it's mostly paper, and it's a thick white paper, and so that's asking to just fucking blacken my fucking lungs up, and it's mostly just like smoking paper at that point when you have the thick white paper, and then you roll these little toothpicks where it's not even big enough to have anything in it, any weed in it. So that happens a lot. I'm used to doobies. Like, this is what I rolled. I roll like cigarettes,
Oh,
and I have a filter in it. So like, I'm a little, my standards are high, and of course it's the unbleached. These are the RVD papers,
oh
but
yeah.
because I have boxes of them. But same as classic raw, unbleached. You don't taste the paper, you taste the weed, and and this is worth bringing up too. A lot of people don't know this, but when you're in Europe, and for some reason also in Canada, a lot of them, they like to put tobacco in the weed. So sometimes, someone will offer me a joint, and I can just smell the tobacco in it, and my body rejects that. Like, I can't enjoy that. I automatically cough it up before it even makes it down my throat. And for me, I've always hated that and always thought that was gross. And I've had Italians, for instance, tell me they don't see how I can smoke a joint with just weed because it's too strong. Too much weed is the way they put it, and that the tobacco helps them balance it out and settle for them, or whatever. But I always hate that, and so I'll pass every time if I'm in Europe and someone offers me one of those.
That's kind of funny because, you know, in America we're drinking like it's like the reverse thing of beer. Like, we're so used to drinking light beer here, like that, and like if we go over to Europe, they call us a bunch of pussies because we drink light beer, and they're drinking the heavy beer. But here, it's like the coins flip. We drink, you smoke the legit all weed, and then they have tobacco and stuff like that over in their joints and stuff like that. It's kind of wild.
Yeah, and so like in Amsterdam, because it's such a destination spot, like melting pot of tourists, from everywhere. They have a lot of people there, and they're in Europe
Mm-hmm.
that like that tobacco. But my favorite coffee shops, and this was when they used to have a lot more because they've closed a lot of them down and put a lot of control on the business now. But the coffee shops is where you would go and you could buy cannabis legally at the coffee shops. And a couple of them that I used to go to, I really favored because they would allow the pure smokers to have the whole room, and they had a little sectioned off area for the tobacco smokers.
Oh,
Instead of like the other way around, because in a lot of places you go in there to sit down and the guy beside me smoking cigarettes, the guy on the other side of me, the guy behind me, everyone's smoking cigarettes with their weed, and it's not pleasant for me or for whoever if they're not into that. So some of them, that reverse it like that and say, if you smoke pure only out here, otherwise, get in there, get in your little aquarium where you belong. So,
go over to your zone here.
yeah.
Got some super chats. Show Ryu King, thanks for the $5. He says, "What up? What up, Doe Rob? I know that you've been in Be Real Smoke Box, but you and Katie on the Dr. Green Thumb show would be tremendous. Clouds from Detroit. Do you know the Dr. Green Thumb show?
Yeah. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. That's Be Real. Be Real's a friend. He's an awesome dude from Cypress Hill. Godfather does his podcast all the time and goes back and forth, like from Vegas to LA to do it, and Katie and I were in the Hot Box, which is one of his shows where you smoke inside of the car, and he's used to people, and the car is just in the studio, with the windows up, but he's used to people tapping out, and I was like, whoa, you know what? Who's got the weed? The whole time, like I thought we were smoking. But anyway, that was fun. And Dr. Green Thumb, another podcast of his, and it would be awesome. We don't live in the same city anymore, but sometime the universe will make it happen.
Is he based out of LA?
Yeah, he's in LA. Me and Katie went and saw them when they were here. Just I guess it was in April, and April or May, and they were in concert here, and cool dudes. Just they like to smoke. Yeah, but Be Real's cool. Sundog's awesome, and I've known him for a while now, and keep in touch. So there you go.
There you go. Fresh Take 1. Thanks for the $2. We covered this maybe on the first episode or at least the second episode. Shane O'Mac, Coast to Coast. Did you ever get credit from him?
No, he never. I don't remember him ever mentioning it to me. If he did, then I don't remember. He definitely didn't give me credit. No, he didn't. It never came up. Never came up. I believe that Paul showed him footage of me doing the Van Terminator and asked him, "Can you do this? Can you do that?" He said, "Oh, man, maybe if I put a trash can on the ropes, I got like an extra 3 feet there. I don't have to fly down." So that's what the Coast to Coast is. But I get credit from you guys, from all the hardcore fans that were there from the beginning.
Yep.
It's amazing anyway, like a lot of my stuff. But I thought that with the Van Terminator, like how could I just be the first one to ever think of doing that? But my thinking is obviously out of the box. I don't see any other way. And so when I do moves that people haven't seen, some part of me is like, how is that? It's a 4-sided ring, 3 ropes. Wrestling's been around for a long time, right? Hundreds of years if you want to go back to Odysseus and battling over the armor of Ajax, Uh, anyway, um, I'm pretty stoked that I've gotten credit for being original, and when I started hearing that, it made me put more energy into that, into celebrating my individuality and being more confident that being myself was the right decision. And boom, it just all worked out so organically.
Yeah, that leads me to a couple of questions regarding the doc too, because what was neat is like they showed your Van Terminator like a couple times on the documentary, and like I remember seeing it for the first time when I was like 14 or 13, and being like, I did not know that was possible, like
Yeah,
for
right.
thing to do, and so it like completely blew my mind. It was like the most amazing move I've ever seen, and like. So, like, for you to think, like, oh, I can't believe nobody's ever done that before, like, or nobody thought about that before, where I didn't think it was physically possible for somebody to do. So,
But that, I mean, in all likelihood, that thought probably is what kept anyone else from thinking of doing it.
yeah.
Was just the subconscious understanding that that can't be done,
Hmm.
and so that's like a barrier that not everyone can comfortably think around. So now that I've proved it can be done, I see guys on indie shows. You know, the neon green dude runs halfway down the top rope and then jumps off it. You know, to make it his own, and it's like, or they do shooting star, whatever. Um, Pretty cool, you know. But also sometimes the ring is 16 feet, sometimes it's 20, 24 feet if you're in Japan. So that makes a big difference. Sometimes the ropes are loose, sometimes they're tight. Huge, huge variety there when you wrestle for different companies in different levels of promotions and all over the world. You know, you can't count on consistency with any of that. So that is a move that takes, you know, you hope for the best conditions to pull it off anyway.
Well, okay, so when it comes to an ECW ring, how big was that ring?
18 by 18.
18 by 18. The ropes are pretty good for all that too to do that.
Best ropes ever. My favorite ropes out of my whole career. There's
Uh huh.
steel cable run through a rubber hose type of material, and then you tighten with the turnbuckles. And you have to have a solid double frame. A lot of the rings on the indie scene don't have the double frame, so when they tighten the ropes up, the bottoms then come out because the level of the platform itself becomes a fulcrum point. So when you pull in on the top, the bottoms come out,
Hmm.
and you can't solve that no matter how many times you put a cross cable underneath it with a winch or duct tape it or whatever you're gonna do. There's nothing that will balance out the pressure of the boys hitting the ropes and all that pulling in on the top, so they get looser and looser, and the poles come leaning in, and you know that's something that I've dealt with for 30 years. But a good ring like ECW's ring, I actually sold ECW their ring
Oh.
when when I first went there. I mean, they already had a ring.
Hmm.
Then I sold them a ring, and we used that. And then my understanding is that they built a replica of it, and then the ring I sold them, they moved to the wrestling school that Taz and Perry Saturn were doing, I guess. So yeah, somehow when I was living in Augusta, Georgia, I remember buying this ring that was the history of it, as I was told from a local guy that I bought it from. He said that back in the territory days, they used this ring, and it was left like in the basement of the Civic Center. It was an old, I believe, NWA ring,
Wow.
abandoned. I think I bought it for $1,000, and I think I sold it for $5,000 to ECW.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Dang.
But it's my favorite ring, 18 feet by 18 feet, and that's the platform. I mean, the ropes are then 16 inside, but um, plywood, no spring, and metal bars all the way across, runners, that, and then the plywood on top. I like a ring to be stiff. I like when I push off of it to jump, to
Mhm.
do my entrance kick. Rob Van, when I jump up to do that helicopter kick at the beginning,
Yeah.
most of today's rings, they're so soft, or they're pussified so that when I push, the ring goes down,
Uh-huh.
and it kills my jump. And so it's like it blows me up, makes me feel like I'm trying to jump in water or something. It's weird. It has an opposite effect from what I think the people who made the ring are trying to get.
Yeah. Yeah. What uh so what is a WE ring then? Is it 18 by 18 too, or is
That
that
one, that one's a little bit bigger. That
okay?
one, so that one's 20. It's 20 feet. Um, I think it's 20 feet inside the ring,
Oh, okay.
and then which would make it 24 feet.
Wow. Okay.
Not 100% sure. It might be off by as much as 2 feet, but I think that's what it is.
Is
Otherwise, if it's 20 feet, and there's a foot apron, which isn't very much. I think they have a big ass apron too. Yeah. Right now, I can't remember. I think that it's 20 by 20, but if it's only 2 more feet, I think it's 20 by 20 total, actually.
wow. Wow. Okay. Okay. So
And
like
the Japan ring, all Japan, I think was 24 feet, and I think that's the only one th- that I was in consistently that big.
that was, yeah, that seems like they I never heard it like from that kind of size, like for 20 feet
And
inside.
so yeah, so if you figure it's only an extra 3 feet on each side, it doesn't seem like that much, right?
Right, right, yeah.
But also the ropes, like WWE used real nylon ropes as opposed to the steel cable running through a rubber hose, so that makes a big difference.
Is it more? Is there a tendency to slip more on those the nylons rope?
No, because usually both of them are just kind of like wrapped with colored tape anyway, and that's what you get your traction, and that's what you feel.
Yeah,
The That's what the epidermis is of it, um, the steel cable's gonna bounce you a lot better, and not wear, not give to the stretch as much. You know what I mean?
yeah. Do you find it a lot of wrestlers are more partial to the steel cables, or are they more partial to nylon? Is
I
that a certain preference for majority of wrestlers?
I really don't know. Years ago, I think it was a time kind of thing. I think the old timers and the bigger guys, and the guys that wrestled more the old '80s style, I think they prefer the normal ropes.
Hmm.
That style wasn't about you know jumping from the second rope and springboarding to the top from there, and then diagonal to the other top, and then running down the top rope like a tightrope. That shit, wasn't what they were doing in the '80s, and the big guys that were around back then, the Greg Valentine, King Kong Bundys, and Earthquake, those guys, I think, they were just fine with the ropes. And a lot of those guys wouldn't prefer the stiffness of the steel cables because it does hurt, and you got to get conditioned to it. And when you start training for your first time, as far as running the ropes, you have bruises under your arm, and or your back there. And I hit the ropes, and it bothers me to see, and it looks stupid to me to see wrestlers turn their back and then just kind of like lean into it and then just take off running. I don't know if you noticed or not, but I use that to catapult me. Always have. I think I told the story about when Giant Baba tried to fool me and threw the young boy down at my feet, thinking I wasn't going to react enough the way that I was doing that, but proved him wrong. And that's why you shouldn't be nervous when I'm behind the wheel of a car. I got good reflexes.
Good reflexes. You're ready to roll. Speaking of which, though, what I also wanted to bring up too, and you kind of referenced it in certain ways, like how people like learn to see from you and what you've done, and Sami Zayn mentioned that too in the documentary. I noticed too, but it was neat seeing like you talk about Lanny Poffo and like him being your favorite and everything like that as a kid. But then the footage that they showed was really reminiscent of like some of the moves that you adapted and turned into your own too. Like he had that senton roll that he did that was very much like the Rolling Thunder and stuff like that.
Right.
I thought that was such a cool. And then he did the little moonsault, and I was like, oh, it's kind of like the split legged in the movie,
So,
And I thought that was pretty neat too. And
me
I
too.
obvious question, you probably took that from like you got inspired from him for doing that, right?
Well, for sure, I got inspired by him. Absolutely. So nobody else was doing moves like that on the WWE's show, So he really stood out to me, and I always pulled for him as a fan and thought, tonight's going to be his night, And, a lot of people didn't notice him till he got a little bit of a push as the genius, but before that, when he was just a jobber that people were ignoring, he was my dude. And he would also do flying head scissors, which I used to do and I really don't anymore. But, I'm sure I got motivated to do that from him. But yeah, I thought the same thing, like boom, that shows the Rolling Thunder was probably an adaptation of that. So like Moonsault was that was really cool. I like the way they cut that. It tells a great story. And also when they got me running off the diving board and they cut to me flying through the crowd, like with the exact same, it looks like I've been working on that one jump my whole life.
Right.
That was awesome.
Well, what was cool too, I thought it was neat too, of like your sister talking on there too. How did she feel about you getting into wrestling, and what was her thoughts about all that stuff too? Initially, like when you guys were younger.
I don't really remember, like mostly because she's like 3.5 years older than me, roughly.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly we fought a lot. Yeah. Once I really like started working out and wanted to wrestle, I was focusing on that, and pretty soon it wasn't a fair fight anymore. And after that, it kind of seems like she just fell in line, and it seems like she was like supportive and proud, of everything that I accomplished and stuff. So that's pretty much how it seems like that one went. And I haven't hit a woman since my sister, so
Sweet.
got a pretty good run going.
Got a good run going right now. So you guys would roughhouse quite a bit then, huh?
The diving board was at a campground in Sturgis, Michigan, called Green Valley Campground.
Uh-huh.
Spent every summer there, and I couldn't wait till 10 a.m. when the diving board was available, when the pool would open up. Sometimes Bart would be like, "No, don't go in for another hour. I just shocked it. The chemicals are too fresh." I'd be like, "No." Me and my friends, same friends that got me to watch wrestling originally. But man, I used to love going off that diving board. And anyway, we camped there right there in the front row. We were what they called the seasonals, so we were regulars. And next door to us were this older couple, Margaret and I think his name was Charles, Margaret and Charles. They had some grandkids that sometimes would be there, sometimes not. And when they were there and we met them, that was the first kids that we knew of that got along. And they were brother and sister, about the same age, and they loved each other. And I remember me and my sister were like, you never fight? You don't fight each other? And they were like, no, she's my best friend. And we just thought, whoa. And my mom was like, that's weird, isn't it? We fought a lot. And my brother was 7 years older. So, he was way older, and then pretty much out by the time I was coming into my own. But um, that was our relationship, and sometimes they would fight with my parents. There was screaming going on. There was a more of a drama filled house, and not all the time, but that was definitely a part of the ingredients that we had. There was, there was get to your room, you're crying. I hate you. And I don't think it was ever me because I was the youngest, and I would watch that happening, and uh, and I didn't like it, and so the brother and sister always said I was the favorite, but I think it's just because I didn't get in the trouble that they did. Because I was watching them fuck up and be stupid.
They presented a cautionary tale for you, and you're like, I'm not doing that stuff.
I think a lot of people can relate if they have older siblings.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, I definitely could do that too. We had our own troubles in my household. I'll say that much. So some other super chats here. David Von Boglin, member of One True Sport. He says, no question tonight, guys. Just a bunch of those positive RVD and Dom vibes. I just had my first stage of back fusion. 2 more to go, and it's painful. Yeah, Dave, best of luck to you. Do all you can to stay better, and I'm glad we're here to kind of keep your mind off of it too a little bit.
Fucking A, yeah, that's something that a lot of my peers have gone through, obviously, and
Ooh, you got a cough?
I don't know, something. I think I fucked up. Yeah, I fucked up. I don't know.
Dang it.
Yeah. Anyway, I have not had that happen, fortunately, myself. But I understand that it does wonders. But one of the most painful things that I've had done was the stem cell shots in my back.
Ooh.
And my whole spine is a candidate for whatever you want to do to it. I've had doctors that want to operate, and doctors that want to fuse, and you name it, from the cervix to the thorax to the what's the one with the L down there? You're fucking
Lumbar?
yeah, thank you.
Yep.
So with the stem cells, they looked at the MRIs, and they went in between each and every single one of my vertebrae columns, and I guess it's first maybe it's I don't know if it's the numbing shot or if it's the actual stem cells, because that one's a really huge syringe. You've probably seen some of those. It feels like it more would have been that, but each time it felt like someone had a knife, like an actual dagger that they were sticking in my back, and it would just go a little further, a little further, and it hurt so bad that it just made everything in me tense so much. I was squeezing this poor nurse, to killing her. And at the same time, I was thinking, if I don't do that, if I'm not steady and have a foundation to fucking, transmit this energy through here, if I move just a little bit while they're in between my fucking vertebrae, I could be paralyzed for life that quickly. Boom. It was scary as fuck. It hurt each and every fucking time they went in and they pulled it out and stuck it in 2 inches higher. And that's one of those traumatic memories for me that I wouldn't do it again.
I don't blame you. Jeez, oh man. Ugh, no, that's not fun. You always hear too, obviously there's back fusion, what David's talking about, but you hear wrestlers a lot of the times, and a lot of famous ones get the neck fusion.
Yeah.
And that happened. From Steve Austin to Edge to, I mean, you name it. There's been several. Bobby Roode, I know, was another one that's got it. Kyle, the list goes on, and that's always seems like such a temperamental one, because it's like the higher it is up, the less you should do anymore with wrestling when it comes to it. It seems like I think Steve has a higher one, Austin has a high one, while Edge and Brian Danielson had ones that were lower. I think, if I remember correctly, I'm not too sure.
Scotty Too Hotty had it done too.
Did he?
Also, right? I think so.
Mm-hmm.
Test, of course, but they fired him when he got his done, I guess.
Oh wow.
It's common. He just reminded me like Tommy Dreamer. I can't remember where on his back, but he was saying that a doctor wanted to fuse him. And if I remember right, I think there was like some loose bone spurs or something. And he said that when the doctor took scans of him, he said that that he had fixed himself and that he deteriorated in the right way to where the bone like somehow like melded into each other. And that's a Tommy Dreamer story. Yeah, that he actually didn't need the surgery anymore.
Oh, how about that? It just worked out.
Fixed him. Yeah.
Fixed himself. Man, Hyper King Sonic Johnson just gave us $10 just to say hi. Hi, RVD.
Hey, hi, King Sonic Johnson.
Yeah,
Fucking mighty nice of you.
mighty.
Hope you're having an awesome day.
Yeah. Cassandra, she gave us $1 and then she gave us another $2 and asking a question here. She said, Paul London said that Triple H was envious of you. How? Do you know in a certain way that he might have been envious of you? He got a little bit of that time in the documentary talking about like how you changed the business for the better and stuff like that.
Who did?
Triple H did.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, because they showed you interacting with him and Vince at the your Hall of Fame induction, and they had like you could overhear the sound of him saying like, "You changed the business." And you're like, "Oh, did I do it for the better or worse?" And he was like,
"Oh, cool, okay."
Yeah.
I don't remember seeing that part.
Yeah.
But I remember that happening though. You know, who knows what someone else thinks or feels. Hunter was in a position where he's both office and at the same time he's talent.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a hard position to be in as far as you're going to be looked at from the other talent as if you have an unfair advantage of pushing yourself over them, of getting ahead, maybe with less talent than would be required, and to put the brakes on other people's pathways.
Mm-hmm.
In at the end of the day, all of that is true, but it also kind of is fair, maybe because you are in that position. And so if you are, let's say you sit at the round table, you and 5 other knights, there's 6 of you and you all have equal say, right? If you really believe that pushing you is going to bring in a lot more money than pushing in these other guys, even if you hear a lot of chatter about these other guys, you disagree and you don't think that they're worth the investment of the company's time and energy, really. And if you really feel like this would be a better business decision, then guess what? Then that's what you're doing. You're making that decision. You are involved in it. There is no rules against that. And so a lot of wrestlers will say the reason that they were stopped was because of Triple H, because he was either he was jealous or just because he's with the boss's daughter, this and that. But if you look at him as an executive who has decision-making power, if his vote is that we don't use these guys for whatever reason, then it really is a legitimate fair power that comes with that position. So outside of that, I think professionally, I'm guessing, like I said, I don't know, but there's a good chance that professionally he didn't believe that I was a good investment for the company. And that's based on hearing that he would vote down, thumbs down on some plans that were talked about with me. That's based on a lot of hearsay. Um, it's based a little on some personal experience, that opinion. And when it comes to being jealous or not, I don't know. I think that Paul London meant that RVD is super over, even though they're trying to bury him or trying to circumvent his rise. The fans aren't having it because he's so awesome, so cool. And so a lot of talent would say, man, that's not fair. You should be the guy that's getting pushed to the moon right now. And the reason you're not is because his ass in the office. And a lot of guys would look at it and say that's because he's jealous because he wants it done his way. I guess. I don't know. Not, because he wants it done his way or because I didn't connect with him and didn't connect with Vince in a way where I built that relationship that maybe he felt was a requirement that I didn't really understand or know about or care about or whatever. So there you go. I think that Paul London meant on talent, on fan interaction, and on overall the reaction that I was getting from the wrestling universe, despite getting pedigreed at the end of every show to try to stop it.
Yeah.
It could be looked at like he was doing that to try to stop it.
Well, it's like you look at that time period. It was like 2003, whatever, 2002, and like it was, Triple H was one of the top players there on as a wrestler. But then you also look at the other guys that were Booker T. These are all the ones that like he was rumored to be quote unquote burying. But the cream rises to the top, and both you and Booker rose to the top eventually. Like you guys got there. It's just like not in the nature that maybe all the fans expected it to happen and in the time frame it should have. But they got that. You guys got there. So it's like, I don't think. I think there is kind of like a little bit of a misnomer. Obviously, I'm not behind the scenes. I don't know anything about it, but
Hearing you say it like that, looking back at what I believe is the actual fabric of my story, I think I got pretty far and then was kind of derailed.
mm-hmm.
And then I built my own ladder to get back up to the top.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, despite the way your mindset is of like, hey, I'm not the type of guy to like really politic and try to get my way in there and everything like that. You still achieve what you did despite that. You know what I mean? So it's like that really speaks more so to your career and what you've done. Like, so it's like, and I thought that was kind of a neat aspect too in the documentary is like, and we talked about that before. One Night Stand was like a validation of what you did and everything like that, where everything came to a head, like you did on your own terms and everything like that. So despite all that fact of, hey, WWE is a nature of a business where you do kind of have to play the game, quote unquote, no pun intended, but you have to like, go through that. You didn't do that necessarily, and you still made it. So it's kind of neat.
Yeah, super neat. I mean, it's a path that I'm proud of, and I'm glad that I inspired so many people to be themselves, not to feel the pressure to conform unnecessarily, um, to use your own decisions, to build your own instincts up, and so you don't have to count on other people as much. So yeah, that's all good. At that time when I was getting, as Stone Cold put it, a rocket strapped to my ass, rocket ship strapped to my back, I think is actually what he said. And anyway, I beat Stone Cold. I kind of beat Undertaker there. We saw, beat The Rock, and probably Kurt Angle. Yeah. It was a pretty good run. I don't think I got Triple H though. I wouldn't remember if I did score one on him. I wouldn't know, but I don't think I did. And because I always felt like the story was, no matter how good I do, uh, he's next level and he's going to prove it to me. And so, personal or business, who's to say?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, so just up in the air, kind of. Here's some good super chats too. Hypo King, another $10. Thanks, man. If you have a question, ask it. You don't have to pay. Just ask it, and I'll be sure to get to it if you do have a question.
What's the capital of South Dakota?
It's not Sioux Falls, is it? That's a good question, guys. If you know, put it in the chat. Kyle Vandam just says RVD is a pimp. So there's one. Wag. Thanks for the
I signed with Godfather last week in Mississippi. He was at the table next to me.
Uh-huh.
Had a great time with him, just like always. He's going to be involved in this hot boxing that they're doing here in Las Vegas, July the 9th. Katie is in the ring boxing against Jenna Jameson's wife.
Oh,
I don't know what. I don't know. I can't think of what her name is. I think she's famous for being Jenna Jameson's wife, and a big, like, it's like a blow up ring and like big gloves, and they are actually going to hot box the entire ring. Like, they have a huge machine that fills the whole thing up with smoke, and then they have their mats. So if you don't follow hot boxing yet, I don't know what the exact thing is on Instagram, but they've been doing a lot of interesting promos, and they show you what to expect from the smoke. And it's just like, if you've ever seen that where someone has a hose that just blows out thick smoke, this is like a big one of those. And it's at New Woo, which is a really cool place, the only place in Las Vegas with a smoking lounge where you can buy and enjoy and consume.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Is that going to be streaming anywhere? Do you know?
I don't know.
That's pretty neat, though.
Godfather's going to be one of the judges. And that guy calling me a pimp just made me think about Godfather, because one dude came up to him when we were really slow on the Sunday, about ready to close, and came up to him and said, "Are you a wrestler?" And he was dressed as Godfather, and he said, "Not me, I'm a pimp." And he said to the guy, went, "Oh, I see." I just like walked off.
He wasn't lying.
Yeah. He said that WWE's done with that gimmick now, because of political incorrectness, and that now, as far as being in the video games and stuff, it's going to be Papa Shango. And I don't know, was he Soul Taker in WWE?
No, I don't think so. He was Kama Mustafa.
Oh, shit.
Machine or whatever it was called.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Pride Week still.
Yeah, there we go.
It won't stop. I don't know what I did.
keeps going. That's 'cause
TikTok when it won't stop.
we got 2 more days of Pride Week. That's why.
Okay.
Wog for the $4. He says, "Hey RVD, tell us more about your kickboxing time." Yeah, I thought that was a really interesting part of the documentary. We get to meet Kip and got a little background about it, and the footage. That was what was really neat. Is like you were kicking guys' asses that were like your size, but then I saw you kick a fat dude's ass and stuff like that in there too. It was pretty neat.
So they don't tell this story, but that the ring that it showed in the backyard, that was my backyard. Kit needed a place to put the ring after we had already been training in his yard for a while, developed a relationship. I don't know if we'd done any shows. Maybe after one show, we moved it to my yard. Anyway, I was in that ring every day. Whatever, boxing, wrestling, kickboxing, whatever, hitting the heavy bag, loose ass, real nylon ropes, and lumps of unmatching random pieces of carpet padding under blue plastic tarp, just piles randomly. Like, hey, I need some here. Give me another one, and just triangle with a big square, small piece. It was literally that's what it was. And anyway, kid disappeared for a little while.
Oh,
Yeah, and he'd made all these promises. We had by this time, it's in my yard, and we'd already done a lot of all the shows with him. The rotation. We sat in the ring, up, chairs up, boom, 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 doing the whole thing for a while, and then he disappears. The fuck happened to Kit, right? And couldn't get a hold of him. And he's not answering. And during this time, young little grasshopper Robbie wanted to broaden his martial arts resume. And so that's when I went to the local dojos around Battle Creek, and starting at the Battle Creek Budokan with my mom had bought like that coupon book. Those are popular back in the day. You rip out like 2 free weeks of karate or whatever. These guys taught karate, Aikido, and Aikido at the Battle Creek Budokan. And I started with them, got over really well with the instructors. They liked me. And then worked my way into free lessons and sparring and all that stuff. And then there was Todd Tatami's Taekwondo, which Gene Mead was a student there. He used to teach me everything they learned from Todd Tatami. Brought me in there a few times. And Killa Community College taught Tung Sudo. And my friend Aaron Roberts, not Eric Roberts, but Aaron Roberts, he brought me there a little bit. I learned a lot about like repositioning your footing and stuff like that stuck with me. But that was all that we had, was that was it in Battle Creek at that time. The Battle Creek Budokan, Todd Tatami's Taekwondo, and then at the Killa Community College. And so anyway, they all seem to agree that Kit was bullshit.
Oh.
And they got into my head. And then because they all, he was an outsider to the local martial arts scene of Battle Creek. It's so funny to think of back now because that's how it was. It was like this council got together and said, he's not real. He fixes his fights. He fights little kids so he can seem tough. He made his own championship belt. He glued it together. I saw him do it. And everyone was getting in my head. And at the same time, I was thinking, man, who knows where and we gotta fucking get some shows going and stuff. And I start talking to some of the places we'd already done shows at, Kodiak Lounge, some place out at St. Mary's Lake, and some other places. Trying to be the promoter at 18, I guess I was, and you know was working on stuff, and I wanted to get a local thing going because I wanted to wrestle, I wanted to kickbox. I was enjoying that, and I was like really hungry to do it at that time. And Kit only had like one loss, no, two losses. I'm sorry, on his World Middleweight Karate Council Championship, and one of his losses was this dude named Terry Gay. Terry Gay. One time I saw the motherfucker at the Lakeview Square Mall. I saw his jacket, Super T's Karate. I said, hey, what's up with that? And struck up a conversation, me and Dango did. And we ended up going to Super T's Karate in Coldwater and training with Terry Gay, who, prospectively was a better fighter than Kit on another level. Maybe, but at this time, for sure, in my mind, because everyone's got into my head. But the reason that I say that is he was just so good. He was a tall, lanky dude, and we would spar with him, and he let us for free spar with his students, go through his classes and stuff, because his students need people to spar with, and man, we would duke it out. Like we had some of the toughest sparring because we were a team. Like me and Dango, whoever we had with us that we brought against his guys, it was just like Sabu in Japan getting me in the corner and said, "Hey, don't sell their shit." It was like that, and man, like it was like I'd say 90% like full on competition. The 10% break being if you think you hurt somebody, then you stop. You say, "Whoa, you okay? Okay, good." Bam, bam, bam. And man, I learned a lot there. But Terry Gay was so quick. He could punch me, and I'd never see it coming. He would just be like, bam, and boom, and man, I hated getting caught with his punches because I felt so slow, and so that's why he was legit badass. Anyway, things are going good. And now I'm like, fuck Kit. And besides all the shit that I've learned about him, he smokes pot. What a fucking loser, right? That's how I felt at the time. I was like, man, this guy fucking, you know what? This is my ring. What's that? Possession is 9/10 of the law. I'm going to start running shows. So I'm working on that. I got some dates coming, booked, I'm excited, setting this up, training. All of a sudden, this truck shows up in my yard one time. Some people just walking through my yard, they start taking the ring apart in the backyard. Excuse me, what the fuck are you doing? Oh, Kit sent us over here to get, you can get the fuck out, right? I kicked him out of the yard. I didn't know what to do. I took the whole ring apart in panic mode. Ching, 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 ching. Took the whole thing apart. And then I'm like, okay, where can I hide it? And then I'm like, the fuck are you doing? It's not really my ring. What am I going to do? And how long am I going to keep this up anyway? It's Battle Creek, He's going to know wherever I hide the ring. It's a small town. And I ended up, took it apart, and it's sitting there, and I ended up, we had a sit down at Speed's Cafe in Verona. Right there on Capitol Avenue, right there at the bend, across from where he lived, where the ring was, where I first spotted it when I drove by. Very close there. And we had a sit down, and it was like, Rob, what are you doing? And I'm like, where you been, man? You can't just show up have people in my yard not even telling me they're coming over. Uh, we had some words back and forth. I realized that I was in the wrong, and I was very disappointed because I figured this motherfucking crackhead's gonna sell the ring, and nothing, no one's ever gonna do anything in Battle Creek ever again. He's gonna sell it for his crack money because he smokes pot. He's a loser. Fuck yeah! All right, man. Send him back over tomorrow. I'll let him in the yard. They come over. They get the ring. They leave. Fuck! I'm stewing. Mm, He fucking ruined my dreams,
Yeah.
motherfucker. And I'm and at this point, I've been training with Terry Gay. All of a sudden I find out he set the ring up in this backyard, not too far from where Speeds was and from where he lived, not too far from there. And someone told me he's there right now working out with a bunch of kids, beating the shit out of little kids. I'm like, dude, this is the time when the young grasshopper becomes the master. I was like, shoom, did a fucking run in. I show up in the backyard and I see him in there, sparring with these kids. And of course he notices me, just fucking staring at him and shit. And he's like, Rob, did you want to get in the ring? I said, oh, sure, okay, yeah. I wouldn't mind. I get in the ring, put the gloves on. In my mind, I'm like, I'm gonna fucking put this guy down. I'm putting him fucking down, man. Fuck this. I've been knocking people out now. I'm fucking, I'm a badass. Let's do this. He don't know. I've been lifting weights. I'm a massive 180 pounds now. And okay, Bing, let's go, right? We come at each other. We both got our gloves up, right? He taught me how to put my guard up and how to look over the top of my glove. And my opponent actually used my gloves, as protection from my face, right? But what he didn't teach me was I threw a crescent kick, an inside crescent kick.
Okay.
It comes across like a windshield wiper, and it hooked his gloves. And so it pulled his gloves down with my foot, exposing his face, right? Bam, bam, bam. He put his gloves back up. I did the same thing. Hold on. This is going to be slow motion so that I don't knock too many things over. I already knocked over the Yeti. Work our gloves are up. And here comes the crescent kick. And it hooked his gloves and it pulled his gloves down. Bam, 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 bam. And he put his gloves up again. And then he goes, hold it. And the whole world stopped. Put my gloves down. Here comes a really fast sucker punch. Bam! Boom! He says, Rob, you get out of my ring with that attitude. You do not show up here with that kind of energy ever. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm just working out. And he says, you get the hell out of here. And he said, or if you want, we can take the gloves off right now and we can go at it if that's what you really want to do. And now I'm like, oh shit, now it's back on me. How far do I want to take this? Fuck, this is a full-grown motherfucker here, kid. He's been in a lot more bar fights and shit than I have. I know he's got some dirty tricks, but I'm pretty confident though.
Yeah, but maybe.
What should I do? Everyone's looking at me, even Cherie Scott, which, that's another thing against him. He's banging Cherie Scott. She was in my class, in my grade, and I always liked her. She's looking at me. No, I'm good. I'm good. Thank you. Thank you for the workout. I took the gloves down. I walked out, and in my mind, I was like, "Yes, that was so fucking awesome." And and I left, and I don't know when it was that Kit and I made up, but it had a lot to do with me just growing up, being more experienced, meeting many Kit Likenses in my career, from different wrestling promoters to just different characters. Uh, and so I'm really proud to have him as the guy, that broke me in, that first let me in the ring, started training me. And, even though a lot of people that were giving people belts, black belts, and going through the the martial arts belt system when he was doing the championship belts in the ring, because kickboxing is a sport, and then regardless of what white belt or black belt, taekwondo, karate, whatever, judo, it didn't matter. It's a sport. Didn't matter how old you were. You put the gloves on, the headgear, and bam, let's see what happens. And you try to knock each other out, and so anyway, I learned eventually not only to respect him, but I'm glad he made it in my bio. And I think I think he told that story like almost the exact same way somewhere, but I can't remember where I would have heard him tell the story. But that's what happened though, dude. And there you go. There's some bonus material for you.
I like that, man. I was captivated, Rob. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was captivated. That was some good shit. Hey, we got some more super chats here. Let me take a look. Hey, we got Josh Smith, $2. Thank you. He says, "What do you think of Cody's run as a champ so far?" We talked about Cody last week a little bit, but yeah, well, won it at WrestleMania, and he's still going with that belt. Any thoughts about Cody? Any additional thoughts? I guess. Rob?
Well, from the outside, not really looking in, he seems to be doing great. People are talking about him. I'm talking about him right now.
Jeez.
Oh my God. And I like him. He's seems to be the man in the position. Everyone is behind him, leading up to working with The Rock. And so being, at least, I don't know if Dusty was a second generation, or if he was the first and Cody's
He was first generation. Yep.
So Cody's second. Anyway, the tutelage, the bloodline he has, that's one thing that automatically makes him marketable, also makes him better because of that. So I'm a fan. People seem to really like him a lot. And again, I haven't been watching his matches, but I think I would know if he wasn't doing well. I think I'd feel the vibe.
Yeah. He's had some really good stuff with AJ Styles recently. He was in a feud with him, and they were, boom. They're like PB and J almost. The storytelling in the ring.
Awesome.
It's been some good stuff. John Thompson III joined a member. He's a member of One True Sport. Thanks for signing up, man. Guys, if you're interested, Rob, we almost have 8,500 people tuning in. We're giving the debate a run for its money, I think.
What's that? Tuned in right now?
Yeah, tuning in right now. We're at 8,400 people right now.
That's a lot of people.
Going on up. We're moving on up.
What's a member of One True Sport? What does that mean exactly?
So we have tiers. They can join. So if you're on OneTrueSportTV.com, you guys will see a little button that says join down there. And we have certain tiers that people can sign up for. Like $7.99 is our lowest tier. You get audio early. You get some of the shows early. And then on the second tier is like Workhorse, and you get bonus content. And then we have a super tier, which is like $40 a month, and you get merch. You get live Q&As, all that kind of stuff. Eventually coming in here. It was still in our first month with One True Sport, but so that's what people joining up, signing to be a member. Hopefully cultivating a good community here and keeping things cooking.
Cool.
So yeah, so thanks for signing up, guys. Be sure to, if you're tuning in, like, subscribe, whether you're on RVD's YouTube at The Real RVD or whether you're on One True Sport TV. Be sure to hit the like button. Get your super chats in. We got more coming in here. And yeah, that always helps the show. Also, go to rvdtv.com and you can get full episodes every Monday at 4:20 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So be on the lookout for that. The latest super chat is a regular Voodoo Vic. Thanks for the $5. Hey Rob, who'd be in your dream blunt rotation based off of those you smoked with? Dream blunt rotation
Based off of those I have smoked
that
with.
you have smoked with. Yeah, who would be in your dream blunt rotation?
Okay, well, okay. I like this.
Mm.
So I got the Prince of Pot, Mark Emery
Ooh.
from Canada. I've got Jack Harrer, the OG Hemperer, in my rotation.
Mm.
I want to put Sabu in there. He likes to smoke.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Who else that I can name? Some of the people that come to mind, or one anyway, I just don't name just because he wouldn't want me to. But let's see. I'm running out of time here. Do I got one more? I'm thinking of maybe not Richard Lee. I'm trying to think of like someone else to put in there that smoking for the right reason. How about fuck? I don't know.
David says Willie Nelson. Willie Nelson?
Yeah, but I haven't smoked with him, or I would say him or Snoop Dogg or I don't even know. I don't know. Maybe just I'll keep it tight. I'll keep it tight because you know what? Nothing's worse than when you got one doobie and 8 people in a circle. Like, forget it, man. I'm not gonna get any of that. I'm gonna hit it twice. I'm good. I smoke 2 by myself. I'm a 2 doobie in the morning kind of guy.
2? You smoke 2 in the morning?
I smoke 2 doobs in the morning. I smoke 2 doobs in the afternoon. I don't know. It's a Bob Marley song, bro.
Yeah.
But I do, yeah.
Oh, nice.
And I'm out of pre-rolls that de-rolled, that big ass bag. I'm out of those, so I need her to roll again. So I got to roll them per each one that I'm smoking right now because D had pre-rolled that big bag that I showed you. Obviously, we went through those. We smoke a little more when they're all pre-rolled, but it's worth it.
Yeah, I bet. It looks like it's worth it, too.
Because Katie would normally just smoke like a bowl or something, and if Dee's rolling them up, she's just like, oh, cool, I'll just take this with me. And even if it takes her a while to smoke it all down or whatever, we go through more.
Man.
Little more. I like weed. I like smoking weed.
See, that's surprising. I didn't think you were the weed type of guy, Rob.
Yeah.
Wow.
I get that a lot.
Just unassuming about that, I think. Speaking of, did you want to unbox the...
Yeah, dude, that's what I was just thinking, too.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's see. Here's a big fucking box.
Damn.
It's very, very big.
Look at that blade you got. Holy smokes, Rob.
Yeah. And this
cut away from you.
The opposite of what I did.
Yeah, you did.
Pull and push on this, this is from Greek glass. All right. And by the way, this makes me think of, I had said before, if you want to do dabs and you got a water bong, just take the bowl out and put a nail in there. After trying to do that myself, I realized they're not all gonna fit perfect. So you gotta get you might have to get like an adapter piece or something because the bulls seem to have like a big wider mouth on the base. Oh no, dude, they're all bubble wrap. It's gonna take me like forever. I thought I could just pull some shit out, but I'm gonna pull some shit out. Something be pull outable, dude.
Wow.
Bubble wrap, bubble wrap. Oh fuck.
Oh damn.
All right, I guess I'll work on it. Big monster of a
Oh
bubble.
snap.
All right. Do that. Some.
Hey. What are those? What are those, Rob?
It's so this is a mat that you put your fucking bong on,
Oh,
or
okay.
your dabber on. Yeah, it's a little placemat, and I have so many of them. Everybody's different logo on it stuff because it's something that people create, and just like this one that I'm using, Dream City Vapes. Bam. Cream City Vapes, these guys. So, yeah. Which, by the way, that's what we should do too.
What?
Green glass. Some fucking RVD mats.
Ooh, the mats. Yeah, that'd be sweet.
Duh.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I've talked about that. So, here's what they got me. Oh my God, I love it.
Oh
I
man,
love it.
love it. All bubble wrap.
Bubble wrap. Bubble wrap. It's just what I always wanted. Okay. So this might take a while.
That's okay. Hey, while you do that, I'll do a little ad read here. Yeah, I'll do a little. Ooh, oh geez, the Freddy Krueger hand. Guys, we're also sponsored by Get Blitzed. Get Blitzed is lit nano infused Get aid, and it is THC obviously syrup that is 100% legal in all 50 states. It's Delta 9, and there's so many different flavors. Mixed Ray, Sinatra, and Courtney, based out of Maryland. You can get Blitzed at get-blitz.com. Several flavors are cherry. You got blue raz. That's one I have in my kitchen cabinet still, waiting for the right time. Tiger's blood, pina colada, key lime pie, and I think another one too that I'm missing. Grape. Oh, I just saw grape. So if you're watching, scan that QR code on the screen. You go to get-blitz.com, use promo code RBD, get 15% off your order, whether it's a bundle or whether it's a bottle. They're great stuff. It was a hit during WrestleMania weekend. Kevin Nash loves it. We love it here at RVD Pod. Take a look and hit them up and tell them RVD and Dom sent you. So there we go. Get-blitz.com. As far as what else we got here, Seth, we'll get to your super chat in just a moment. But we also have. Let me see. See, I'm looking at some other. Oh, Voodoo Vic just got some Blue Chew. His Blue Chew just came in. Yeah, guys, you can. Blue Chew is another one of our sponsors. You go to bluechew.com, use promo code RVD, and you get Blue Chew for free. You just pay $5 shipping, and chew it and do it. Obviously, Blue Chew is such a popular pro wrestling podcast.
All right. Chew it and do it.
Chew it and do it, dude.
Nice.
Yeah. How about that? Want to see what else I can do. David Von Boglin says edibles are his jam. I freaked out on edibles once, David. I'm not doing that again. Freaked out big time.
Who's freaked out?
I did. I took edibles once, and I did the novice thing of like I took one, waited like an hour and a half, and nothing was happening, so I took another one, and then boom, I found myself naked in my bathroom and completely freaked out, and then my whole night was ruined. So
Everyone's got the same edible story. You don't know how much. Dude, check it out.
oh, look at that! Here we'll pop it up. Look at that! Heck yeah, you guys can get that too at rvd420.com.
Sharp.
That's real sharp.
Alright.
Man.
Fucking A. And then I should be able to put a stem down there for a nail, I think, or a bowl. Definitely a bowl. Pretty sure a nail.
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah. Dab it or bong it.
Yeah, you guys can get
That's
yours.
pretty cool. And thank you, Greek Glass. And yeah, tell them where they can get it. And they sent me some other ones too. That are in bubble wrap. Bubble wrap.
All bubble wrap. Yep. Go to rvd420.com. That'll send you to Greek Glass. Here's the very one that Rob just showed you guys. You can take a look there. Right there. We also have one of his classic outfits there too. You can check out. And then we got the electrified one too, which is awesome. All of them are very, very cool. So definitely go to RVD420 and get your own right there too. So, having a bubble wrap bonanza right now.
I pulled out some stuff yesterday and put together a little package that I'm gonna send to the winner of the outfit art contest.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, I thought I was gonna have it to show here, but I realized now that I forgot to put it in front of me. But you know, a couple of RVD things, whatever I have in my office, and then hopefully next week we'll have Joe Holland on with the outfit. I haven't seen it yet myself either because he's been going through some stuff with his house, flooding or some not fun stuff that he had to take care of. But just wanted to mention that because it'd be kind of weird to never mention it again.
Never mentioned it again. But here's the original singlet that he drew, colored in there. I believe the name's Tyler Gray, I think his name is. And it looks fantastic. So it'll be awesome to see what Joe did with it and how the finished product looks. So.
Hell yeah. And eventually Joe will get that outfit to me, and I'll take a picture of me in it, and I'll be able to send that to Tyler as well.
How about that? See, that would be great. Hey, if you guys want your own stuff to wear RVD style, you can go to onetruesport.com. We got some summer wear for you. We got the RVD hat and an RVD tank top just in time for summer. Go to onetruesport.com. I scooped up a hat, and hopefully that'll come in by next week, and I'll be wearing it on the show. So take a look at plenty of different talents there, but RVD is one of our features. So go to there and scoop up your merch right now. We'll cook on that stuff. So, let's hit some super chat. Ooh, we got a couple more here. Let me make sure I didn't overlook anything. Oh, Seth just sent us a super sticker for $5. Thanks, Seth. And then he also has another thing. Sent us $10 more. He said, just got home from the studio, finishing up his new album. No question today, just sending good vibes, but you can tag me into that joint rotation, RVD. So that's part of them getting the mix there. Hey, Seth, if you're just tuning in, we played the song earlier on, so it's back in the rotation. Speaking of rotation.
Yep. That'll be playing while we're rotating.
Yes, while we're rotating, absolutely. Let me see. Wanted to touch upon a couple more things of the documentary before we close it all out here. Let me see what notes I had. Let me see. What's a good one? Oh, you know what I thought was great was when they showed you starting off in ECW, and they showed you trying to do promos at first, and it was like, Eliminators, you're a great team, and then you're like, fuck. Very funny stuff. You're wearing
Eliminators, you're a great team. But it's funny how my voice sounded back then to me. It's funny to hear it.
It is really funny to hear. What ended up, because Heyman said on the documentary, he was just like, just be RVD. And did it just take kind of practice in front of the camera to kind of get used to it and find your voice? Or did somebody or something really help you kind of find your voice when it came to starting to cut promos in ECW?
I don't remember anything other other than Paul telling me that, to be myself, because the first promos I can remember doing were here in Vegas, actually, for that NWC. Me and Bobby Bradley were aerial assault, and I hated it. I hated it because it was like trying to fake something, which I did a lot of my acting parts like that too, and it comes across like that, like really, especially when I was more green, just kind of faked it and just thought, well, it's RVD saying it, so it's going to come across like RVD says it that way. And I didn't really feel it or have any like commitment to the intention or meaning of what I was saying. So I remember with NWC starting out, and being like, just, I don't know, just feeling like I had to play a character that I wasn't, because I'm shy and an introvert. And I think from watching wrestling that I'm supposed to say like, wow, it's so great to be here in Las Vegas. I'm so excited about this Friday night. Bobby, we got the tag team champions. Tell them what we're going to do. And I just felt like that's what I'm supposed to do. And I feel like Paul was like, just be you, and I don't remember. There could have been somebody, maybe. I don't remember like the first time in ECW. I don't remember like something clicking. I just remember at first being like, I don't need to talk. I talk in the ring with my actions, and then eventually I remember feeling comfortable with Sabu and Fonzie, because then I could just be myself, and just being like, whoa, Fonzie, just relax, dude. You're all amped up. You got spit all over my face, dude. I'm excited too. Look at Sabu, man. He can't sit still. I can't get him to stop talking about RVD being in Buffalo Friday night. It was just fun, like being myself and playing. And then that's why I think I hated later in my career with the dub when writers were trying to give me pieces of dialogue that I wouldn't say, and why do they think I would say that, and who are they to even say what I would say? It was all like really awkward for me.
Well, I think that probably, yeah, that might have been a good moment. Like you having somebody like Sabu who you're so close with, and Fonzie who you have a relationship with too. That probably just brought you out naturally like that, and just kind of got you in the comfort vibe of like just being yourself in front of the camera and all that stuff.
I think so.
Yeah, definitely. Mr. Marijuana.
Can't stop talking about it. I can't get him to shut up.
Can't shut him, Sabu. That's so funny. Mr. Marijuana, CE Cold. CE Cold. Oh, Mr. Marijuana Ice Cold. Mr. Marijuana Ice Cold. He gave us $10. Thanks, Mr. Marijuana. He said, RVDology is helping me looking after my mom. 66 with Huntington's. 66 years in a row now. DDPY helps too. I'm 37 on the 30th, though. Happy birthday then.
Happy birthday, dude.
Yep. Watching your podcast is like I'm having a truth with you, bro. 420,
Nice.
bro.
Nice. Fucking happy birthday. I will be in Buffalo on the 30th.
Oh.
That's Sunday, right?
That's Sunday, I think.
Yeah.
Thursday. Yes, you are correct, Rob.
I will be at the Nickel City Comic Con in Buffalo, New York. Also celebrating bro's birthday.
How about that? There we go. There we go. Do you like Buffalo as a wrestling town, Rob?
I do, man. And I always feel connected to it. Well, I mean, mostly because of the Bam Bam Bigelow match.
Yeah.
But also, man, I just loved that arena, the Burt Flickinger Center. It was like for us a big step up from the Jim Thorpe shithole. you know, like stadium, fucking arena seating, and fucking go up on the roof and smoke. You know, cool shit. Or in the pool, we used to smoke in the big pool area because it was closed and nobody was using it. Um, it's funny back then. I never thought about the smoke traveling really, but or we would go right outside on the sidewalk in front, and sometimes be underneath a truck, one of the big tractor trailer trucks, and smoke under there. But I also filmed a movie there a couple years ago. Assault on VA 33, I think it's called.
Salt on PA.
Michael J. White. What?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Uh, some other people. Some other people. That kid that played the Irish Brothers, Saint, the Saints Row, Saint Patrick, Saint.
oh, what's the name of that? I know what you're talking about, though.
That guy.
Yes. Yes, you were Zero. Was your character's
The
name?
name's Zero. Yeah.
Zero. Assault on Station 33. Yes, Michael J. White. Sean Patrick Flannery. That's right.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yep.
And that was in, so we were in Buffalo for that. Matter of fact, I need to try to hit that Italian restaurant again that I was introduced to. He's a big wrestling fan. His dad was a wrestler, a legend. And, of course, the fucking Buffalo Mafia family, the Magadinos, are and were prevalent there. Actually, the current Mafia families are just hanging out there. They run pizza shops, the Todaros.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I gotta touch up on some spots to hit while I'm there. Now that I think about it,
Yeah.
Todaro. I'm pretty sure I'm saying it right. And yeah, I mean, but everybody knows that. Like everybody knows, and they're just like, no, we don't do that no more. We sell it the pizza.
Hey, it's just a pizza. No crime behind it. Yeah. We legitimate that. So I gotta send you a link. I saw a clip. I want to watch about Pittsburgh. You sent me the one little clip about the Pittsburgh Mafia, and then the algorithm caught up on that, and they sent me another video that I want to bookmark. Once I find it again, I'll send that to you. I was pretty intrigued by that. So
that's your area.
that's my neck of the woods there. Buffalo, yeah. I like Buffalo too. As a kid, we'd always go up there too, and very cold. A lot of winter. The winters are rough over there, but I like the town of Buffalo. It's fine. Let me see here. Real quick. Did you Sika of the Wild Samoans, Roman Reigns' dad passed away. Did you ever run into him?
I don't know if I met him or not. It's possible in passing when there was a bunch of big Samoans in a room, maybe, but I don't remember. I do remember watching Sika growing up. You know, like when sometimes there'd be three of them, three Islanders, Haku and Tonga Kid and Sika, and I didn't know that was Roman's dad.
Yeah. I didn't know too. I know Afa, was his brother, and I thought Afa was Roman's dad. I just mistaken, and yeah.
I saw Sika at the Battle Creek Kellogg Center when I was a kid.
Did you?
Absolutely. Yep. I remember.
Look, I when I was watching the documentary, I saw a cool shirt that the security guard was wearing. It said Kellogg Center, and then it said like security or something underneath, and then something underneath there. And I was like, that'd be a cool shirt to make.
Yeah.
I think I might make that for you, Rob. I think that might be one of them. So that's on the agenda.
I was surprised I haven't seen a lot of those the footage of me as a little kid. I hadn't watched since living at home 100 years ago. So
yeah,
surprised that they had that much. But a lot of that they got from that show they did before they were superstars.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 2003 or 4 or whatever the hell that was.
Yeah. One question I did want to ask before we close out regarding the documentary, when you did the Ted DiBiase thing, is that the moment where you're like, I want to become a wrestler, or was there something else like way before that that you knew that's what you wanted to do?
It for me, the moment hit in my very first live show, so it would have been before that. Same arena, but by then we had been to a few shows. We were fanatics, and in my very first live show, it was somebody telling me, someone on the inside, that I love wrestling so much, I should do some of these arm things, and then I could be a wrestler when I grow up, when I'm 18. And she was saying she could help get me in, and then it just seemed like possible. Like I don't think I ever thought of it before that, and then all of a sudden, like that's a real option. Like fucking hey, man, I want to do that. Yeah.
Heck yeah, heck yeah. Okay, that's interesting. I was curious if there was a certain moment that sparked you, and so that's pretty cool to know that. Shoot, there was one more
I
thing.
lost touch with her, so she didn't get me in, but she planted that seed.
She planted the seed for you.
Yeah.
Overall, was there something you wish the documentary would have covered that didn't?
That's a good question. I will say I was starting to sweat whether they were going to show Katie when it got to be like, like the last 8 minutes left or whatever. Because I'm like, wait, they made me look at that fucking that Evil X.
Right, I was thinking the same thing.
At first, I was like, why did they do that? I was like, why? And then I was like, okay, because I know there's a bigger picture. I know that they're telling a story. And I was like, they must have shown that because they're gonna show how I crash and rebuild myself, and how now I'm happy and I'm with the right person and everything. And I was like, and then Katie was even like, why did they show? I said, we don't know yet, like give us some time, and I was just thinking the same thing. And then, yeah, when it got to be 10 minutes left, I'm like, I know they're going to show it. I know they're going to show it. I'd be pissed if they didn't. I really would. Then I would be like, that's fucked up. But, when they talked about me being happy and whatever, boom, Katie, love, Hall of Fame, vindication, happiness, love, boom,
Yeah,
all good.
all worked out.
I can't think of anything. I mean, I heard somebody said they would have liked to have seen more of the TNA run in there, which, whatever, because they have a story to tell, and I understand the art of storytelling. And so a lot of extra stuff would have been stuff that you would have had to cut out to streamline it if it just didn't add to the main current.
That's it too. And they didn't. I mean, WWE doesn't own the footage to TNA. I mean, they could have probably requested it, but that's like another thing that they probably had to worry about. They showed a footage of you there. I mean, a photo of you there. I mean, but
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to tell us this, but you mentioned at the end of the doc, somebody told you about like living one moment at a time, and you didn't name who it was. Is there a particular somebody who told you that?
That's a good question. That's great. Also, by the way, someone else said that they noticed, because I forgot, I wanted to add this to the Leap and Lanny part. Someone said, did I just learn that Lanny Poffo might have invented the senton and the moonsault, and RVD was doing total elimination in the early 90s or late 80s, or when was it? It was me and Dango doing it, but I can't remember. Oh no, in the 80s, because when we were working out. But yeah, I was like, good eye, because yeah, me and Dango did the total elimination way back when we were working out before we ever even had our first match. So took a quick eye to catch that. Kevin Turner, he's my Hollywood agent and friend. And I'm a horrible client because I don't want to do auditions. And every once in a while, he's like, this doesn't count as an audition. They just want you to record yourself on camera, and it's the final round. I'm like, all right, I'll try, and I never do. So obviously, I must not be stricken with passion to pursue that, or not think it's worth the chances of are worth the effort that it's going to take from me. But anyway, when they want RVD, then he brings it. But he works for what is my fucking talent agency called? David. Goddamn. My brain's tired.
David Hasselhoff.
The thing is, I think it sounds like that. Maybe I don't know. Might have to look it up. I can't remember the name of it. Hoffman. So David Hoffman. I don't know. Let's look it up. Huh? Look it up. See what's on IMDb. Anyway, Kevin Turner was like, well, you got to take it one day at a time, And I was just so weak. Like, I didn't even have a voice. I remember at that particular point in my life being like really depressed and feeling like I already took too much several kicks ago.
Yeah.
And I remember that feeling, and I was like, I can't even imagine making it to the end of the day. And it was like, well, sometimes it's one moment at a time. I was like, well, I can do that. I mean, I can plug in to certain things, like sometimes, like I have fun when I don't know, maybe I have fun. Maybe at the time I thought it was fun being at the bar or whatever. Or being with a chick at the time when I was in between, like I can plug into those moments and just be about that. And it helped me so much because I didn't care about nothing. I was just in the moment, and it made life enjoyable for those moments. It gave me a break from being plugged into the negative shit. So it was just one moment at a time. And I would, sometimes I'd be hanging out with a girl and I totally didn't care like what happened, like whatever, like you want to go home, or you want to do that thing, or you want to fucking, or something, I was open to whatever, you want to go home and cuddle, like whatever, do you want another drink, like whatever. I'm just having a good moment, I'm just whatever you want to do is cool with me. And I stayed there. In fact, one moment at a time. That's exactly where I was still when I met Katie. And definitely, that's that time period. It was like that was the rock bottom for me. Was when I met Katie, which was WrestleMania 16, I believe, in Dallas, Texas. So if you saw me there, I was not at my best. I was far, far from it. But I was plugging in to happy moments, and nothing else mattered. It was an amazing feeling, because when you're depressed, the things that don't matter are things that should. Like people love you. Like, yeah, people would care. There'd be some people hurt if you just died and they found out later because nobody's there with you, whatever, or yeah, you would cause some grief. Some of that shit, you're like, it doesn't matter. But when the shit that shouldn't matter really doesn't matter, it's so uplifting.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you're like, who the fuck cares about, what I'm gonna, who cares about all the paperwork I have for the divorce lawyer and all that shit, like, bam, I'm really having a good time right now with this stranger or by myself or whatever, and it was like, each moment was timeless. That's what it felt like, you know. And as a matter of fact, that's exactly what my date was with Katie. You know, we after we had like a lunch thing, I was like, look, I got to do this podcast, and you're welcome to go if you want, if you're having fun, you know, or if you want me to take you back, take you back. But you know, like whatever. I think I told her before the thing, and then I was like, yeah, whatever, it's cool. Um, and then if you want, if you go to the podcast thing, then maybe we get dinner afterwards. But whatever you want, or I'll take you back. Whatever. She said that she thought I didn't like her.
Oh,
Yeah, because I was just so like, no, whatever's cool, you know. Which
Yeah.
I still try to be like that. I still try to be in the moment. That's something that definitely influenced the part of me that I put back together. Um, but you know, I can't be as carefree all the time because I got responsibilities sometimes. But when you can, you can, and I do spend a lot of time spending moments that are just for me. But she thought that maybe I wasn't interested in her, and then my phone lit up,
mm-hmm.
and my screensaver was a picture of Katie Forbes that she had given me.
Oh,
Bam, hooked her in. That went off. She said, "Wait, let me see that," you know, and I was like, "Oh shit," you know. And then she went with me to podcast, and then we went and had dinner. We went out, and you know, everything was awesome. But that's definitely the me that she met was like in between everything for an unlimited amount of time, and it's like just floating as far as your agenda.
yeah. Yeah, definitely like living in the moment, moment by moment, and just taking. Especially if you're in that state of mind where you're like depressed or down, it's like you have to you have to make it moment by moment. It's like that's the only way you can kind of get out of your rut, and it's difficult. It's very tough.
And it's a good thing, though. I mean, it was awesome. It helped me a lot. You know, it helped me make little steps so I could make bigger steps. And I think that even if we have a lot of responsibilities and a lot of stuff on our mind, if we can, say you're going on vacation or whatever, right?
Yeah,
If you can just be in that moment and say fuck everything else, it's healthy.
yeah, absolutely. You know, just live in the moment, live in the moment. I thought it was neat too. At the end of the documentary, they did they put the number for SAMHSA there. If you saw that, SAMHSA 1-800-662-HELP. If you have know somebody that has mental health trouble, or you yourself has some, so feel free to donate.
Nice.
Yep. Cool, Rob. I thought I liked the documentary. I thought it was really, really cool. I learned a little bit extra about you. It was neat to see your parents, neat to see your sister, and some of that old footage I never got to see. Kit, that was cool.
Yeah.
I liked the. I liked Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn commenting on you, and Kevin Owens. I think that quote will go. You were cool without even trying to be cool.
Yeah,
What really defined you, I think. So I thought that was pretty awesome. But
it was really good.
yes,
Really good job they did.
they did a great job. It was a lot of fun. We do have a couple super chats here. Mr. Marijuana, Ice Cold. His real name is Matty from Mollywop, Western Australia. RVD is a dude I put up there with Austin and Rock status. Rob is a genuine dude, not conformity brother, mentor. So there we go. Thank you, Matt. Mr. Marijuana, Matty. And then
I appreciate that. That's very flattering, and it's awesome to have made such an impact that I'm held up there with other guys that, by every other standard, as far as having main evented so many WrestleManias, them being the number one guy, the number one highest paid guy, the guys they consider the draw. Like, to be able to go up against those guys and have people hold me in as high of regards is very complimentary. So thank you.
yeah, absolutely. And he also said he thanks you too to hear from you. He said it's good advice that you give too. So thanks, Maddie. Appreciate that. Cool. Speaking of advice, you have an RVDology. We covered a lot of ground, so
I think we covered it, dude. I
yeah,
think we did.
yeah, living in the moment. I think that's a good one there.
Sometimes it's got to be one moment at a time, and that's if I've said this a lot, and you probably saw the documentary, but when I hit rock bottom, it was a bunch of. I just felt like life was hitting me over and over. The separation and the dog dying and the dad dying and just um, all this negative energy and just like boom, and I felt like too weak to even put my hands up, knowing the next punch is coming.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what got me through was, hey man, sometimes it's got to be just one moment at a time. And all of a sudden, I didn't feel the pressure of having to make it to the end of the day.
Yeah.
Like one day at a time. Fuck that. You know how long a day is? You know how many people pray for the day to end just because they're so fucking bored with their pathetic lives that they just want to go to bed as soon as they get up in the morning? Bro, one day at a time. Sometimes it's too much. So one moment at a time. And if you have a secret shifter, some things that shift your energy, then that's good. Like if you're like, hey, you know what, I'm usually happy when I jump in my pool, or I'm happy when I watch the Smurfs, whatever the fuck it is. Whatever. When I go out and say fuck the police and flip off cops.
Yeah. Whatever gets your energy out there.
You have something, healthy that's an outlet. But watch your favorite movie, talk to your favorite person, play with your doggies if that's what it is. But it's great if you have something to go to. If not, then find it. Just find a good moment and then just connect to that fucking moment. Did that so many times, and it really didn't feel like anything mattered. I started like when I would get booked, I would stay in town for like 2 or 3 days.
Really? Just extra days on it.
Drinking, looking for whatever, talking to bitches, and it was like I did that in Chicago, did it in Miami. I did that several times because I just didn't have to be anywhere. Nobody was waiting on me. There was nothing but an empty house, and I could sometimes, sometimes have a conversation with somebody and just like stay there, and it's like there's nothing matters. You know what I mean? If this person says, hey, do you want to go to the all night place that never fucking closes till we puke after the sun comes up? Could have been like, okay, it didn't matter. It just didn't matter. So nothing mattered. So it was like just going with the energy, and like, is this something am I enjoying this? Or if I'm not enjoying it, like, oh, this place sucks. It's too smoky in here. Everyone's too loud in here, whatever. Boom, just leave. I'm still like that, like
Yeah.
I do that, no, I don't want to stay in here. Oh, they got live music. See ya. That I obviously, but that's being energy sensitive, and it's the same thing. Now I have faith that moments are going to last a little longer. Don't have to be insecure. The moments being taken away, conditionally, specifically on certain moments, and so that's a very good, fulfilling place to reach. But it comes from sometimes it's just the moments, and don't worry about nothing else except for a moment. If you have a moment that either is, whether it's the only good one that you have, or even if you have a lot of good moments and this moment is specifically like the happiest. Like it should be priority. You should make happiness more of a priority. You'll have a better life.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Get all the clutter out of the way. The everyday life bullshit. Sometimes you just got to take a breather from all that stuff and focus on you. Focus on you and what you want. So cool stuff, guys. We had, geez, it's like almost 9,400 people tune in. So this is a record for us live tuning in of people. So we picked a good night, Rob. This is a good time.
Cool, man. That's a lot of people.
A lot of folks. Guys, if you like what you're seeing, subscribe to RVD's YouTube at The Real RVD. Go to OneTrueSportTV.com if you're tuning in on Twitter. Check out, subscribe to that channel too. Hit the join button if you want more content from RVD, Jake the Snake Roberts, Ted DiBiase, Greg Gagne, Magnum TA, Medusa, Fonzie. Fonzie's on there. We're working on some other talents too I can't announce yet, but some good stuff cooking there. Go to RVDTV.com to get these episodes every Monday at 4:20 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, plus some exclusive clips over there. Rob, you're not going anywhere this weekend, right? You have the weekend?
No, Buffalo, Nickel City Comic Con.
Is that this weekend? Oh, I thought it was.
Yeah, yep. The 30th, and then
that's right.
And also, I have DirecTV, and I tried to look up the RVD bio, couldn't find it, and for some reason, my receiver, I guess, had recorded it and erased it already. Like I looked it up, I looked up the recording history, and it had some code. It said deleted by H/F00. Like what the parentheses? Like what the fuck is that? Some code? I got to call DirecTV. But anyway, I went and I looked on the on demand, and you got the A&E bios 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, no number 6, 7, 8, no number 9, 10, no number 11. Don't know why, but if you missed it, I did see that it's on YouTube, and so I watched it there yesterday.
I think I saw it on there too. You know what? If you have Sling, that's where I watched it. So I subscribed to Sling. You can get it on demand there, and I literally just watched it today. So
maybe that's why they pulled it, because it's the other ones are on there, so I don't know.
Very weird, but yeah, seek it out, guys. It's great. You won't be disappointed. It tugged at my nostalgia too. Tuning into this took me right back to when I was like in high school and stuff like that. So
we're ready for our reality show.
Yes,
me and Katie and Dee and Barbie and Levy.
What would be the name of your reality show, Rob?
Yeah. We actually have before. We have actually had, that is one of the many things that has been on the table and stuff. So I don't want to get too far into, and I don't want to say that anyone stole our title, but the working title is Katie Loves Rob, and it's been that way for years, way before someone else loved JMO. Let me just put it that way.
Okay.
We have a thing. We actually have a big glass thing that lights up in the hallway that says Katie Loves Rob, and it's like we filmed like a part of something that never, one of those things that's never like got edited and got whatever, but we filmed some stuff, and it's a cool spot like underneath it. That lights up there and shit. But anyway, dude, yeah, that's I was joking, but not really though, dude. Let's do it.
Let's make it happen.
It's one of those things where like I'm happy to be kicking out from the weekend by the time I go to the next weekend again. So I miss being productive when I had the month off. I think if I had 6 months off, bam, I'd have so much stuff done because I was like, but I did keep a lot of the productivity. By the way, here's a couple of the other, we showed that one. We didn't show this one, but
yeah.
Here's this one.
Looks great.
And what's probably going to be the favorite.
Yeah, that's
Mr. Pay-Per-View Tiger Stripes.
Yeah, plastic.
Who wouldn't want to smoke out of that?
Heck yeah. No tobacco in there though, just straight up. No one knows that.
Well, I mean, whatever you want. Whatever's your pleasure.
Whatever you feel in the vibes for. Living in the moment. Mr. Marijuana, ice cold again. He just says it might sound obvious, but hearing from your hero. So he appreciates it, Rob. So cool.
Awesome. Appreciate that. And we did some ideology anyway. So that's cool. Hopefully that helps somebody. And to answer your question, Kevin Turner is the man that told me that. And I recently told him that. I can't remember what it was relevant to, but anyway, I was like, you remember telling me that, but good guy.
Awesome. Yep.
Daniel Hoff Agency, by the way.
So, it kind of is like Hasselhoff.
I knew it sounded like that. That's why when you said that, it made it even harder to come up with. I was like, God, it is like David Hoff. Daniel Hoff. Yeah. Anyway, I don't want to do no auditions, so don't.
No auditions.
So don't fucking send me no script unless you want RVD. Cool. Yeah. See you in Buffalo.
See you in Buffalo. It'll be the Nickel City convention going on there. So check out Rob, say hi to him, and get yourself some buffalo wings while you're there. Why not? Party down. Live in the moment.
I never thought of it now because the Buffalo Nickel, right? Is that why it's Nickel City?
Shit.
Maybe.
You're right, Rob. Nickel City, right? That makes sense.
Right? Maybe Buffalo's known as the Nickel City, and we just don't know because we're outsiders.
We are. We're a bunch of like nomads, if you will. Not Buffalo. Home on the range.
Cool.
All right, guys.
Let me hit that Italian place. Cool. All right, Van Dam fam. Appreciate it. It was a long one. That's what she said. See you next week.
See you next week here. One of a kind. Check out the documentary.